You are born in the 13th century Venice. The sea is your cradle, but poverty is your birthright. Your father ferries crates for merchants. As for your mother, she mends nets. The grand palaces lining the canals, they might as well be in another universe. Every day, you watch gondolas glide past carrying merchandises. But one day, someone whispers about Murano, an island where sand turns to treasure, where fire itself definitely bends to human will. Your father calls it madness. He says that this is for guildsmen only. But you've already decided you'd rather risk burning than fade unseen. At the age of 12, you step onto a boat to Murano. The island greets you with the roar of the furnaces, a sound you'll love and fear. Your master, old, stooped, eyes like chipped obsidian, stares at you. "Fetch wood," he says. "That's it. No welcome. Just endless wood." The apprentices mock you. They call you boat rat all day long. The old man forbids you to practice, so you study what you can. Then one night, while your master snores, you dare to touch the iron rod. You dip it into the furnace, turn it slowly and watch a bubble form, perfect, alive. For the first time in your miserable life, you hold beauty in your hands. Days turn into years. You learn the rhythm of molten glass. Each day, you master one tiny secret. You are on the right path. You enjoy coloring glass with cobalt. None has your accuracy. Your burns heal into scars that tell your story better than words ever could. At 19, your master calls you maestro, not out of affection, but respect. You are the main subject of the annual Elders' Council of Murano. But success in Venice is not so great. They forbid glassmakers from leaving Murano. They fear you'll steal their secrets. Anyone who tries to flee, hunted down. You thought you'd escaped poverty. Instead, you've traded freedom for fire. You created a diversion with an explosion to distract the guards watching the docks. You slip away by boat, heading east toward a new chapter of your life. The sea is black as obsidian and the furnaces of Murano burn like stars. You arrive in Constantinople, the rival empire that would pay a fortune for your art. Years pass. You teach them your art, shaping glass mosaics that light the walls. Your fame spreads rapidly. Coins pile up accordingly. You sleep peacefully, far away from the stench of smoke of the furnaces. But one morning, Venetian agents find you. There's no escape. You're dragged back to Murano by a couple of agents to face your treason. They eventually offer you a deal. Work for them, and your betrayal will be forgotten. You agree to the deal they offered, not for mercy, but for legacy. You keep designing glass more flawless than diamond itself. Goblets so thin, nobles hold their breath when they drink. You take your last breath of life in a workshop where it all began. Every piece of glass in the Republic carries that breath within it. In a world ruled by fire, you learned how to burn and still shine. Your story begins within the cold stone walls of a monastery, tucked amidst rolling hills and whispering pines. From the moment you arrived as a young novice, ink and parchment became your world, while others toiled in the fields every day as a daily task. You sat bent over candlelight, tracing letters shaped centuries before. Each stroke of your quill carried the weight of tradition, devotion, and eternity. In those early years, silence was your constant companion. The only sounds were the gentle scratching of pens and the rustle of turning pages. You learned meticulously the sacred art of copying holy manuscripts. Patience became your virtue, precision your prayer. One winter morning, a royal messenger showed up at the monastery. The king was impressed by a treatise written in your careful hand. He summoned you to his court to serve in the royal chancery. Leaving the monastery was like stepping into another world. A wonderful world filled with light, voices, and power. At court, you became the unseen architect of royal decrees and treaties. Your ink sealed devastating wars between kingdoms and ended them. Words you penned dictated taxes, marriages, and deaths. Yet, despite this influence, you remained in the background. You are a ghost among nobles, your power hidden beneath layers of parchment. Over time, you learned that ink could be sharper than any sword. Through observation, you mastered the subtleties of diplomacy and deception. Some nights, while the court slept, you copied secret letters. These messages were never meant for the public eye. The candle's flame flickered as you wondered, were you serving truth or ambition? Despite the luxury around you provided by your scribe's life, nostalgia for the monastery and your fellow monks grew deep inside you. You missed hearing the rhythm of the monastery's bells. You remind the peace of morning prayer in the monastery. Yet, duty held you fast. You had become indispensable. Years passed, and your hand began to tremble like a leaf. So you train younger scribes, teaching them the same discipline that once shaped you. When your service finally ended, the king granted you a small cottage by a river. That was not far from the monastery where your journey began. There, you spent your final years writing chronicles of your time. Writing chronicles not as propaganda, but as truth. Your quill, once a tool of power, became again a vessel of peace. The traces of your hand remain in every ancient charter. You may have been silent, but through your ink, your voice endures.